Vlogmas, guys. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make a crossing sign for Christmas. It is one that I had made previously, but I just didn't like the look of it, and now that I have my Cricut I wanted to make it even more special. So let's go on and get our crafting pants on and start. So as you can see here in the first clip, I am just painting over the signs I had made. I just painted on them beforehand and had what I'm going to put on them now, but I just wanted to paint them all white, so I went ahead and did that. And sorry for any background noise, Evie is deciding to be a very playful kitty right now and is going bananas. So after I painted everything, I did do a double coat on it all. I went ahead into my Cricut and I made my wording that I wanted. I did go through and make two to see which font I wanted to go with. You'll see at the end I did end up changing the font just because to weed it just was really hard with the font I had chose, so I ended up going with this first font that I made instead of the second one like I show in here. But I just kind of looked at them and then I moved them by each other by ungrouping them and putting them together to see what it would look like when it was all done. So after you ungroup and remove everything, you will go down into your right hand corner and click the weld button. So you'll see that I do that as well. And welding it just makes it, when you cut it, everything is just one nice cut for you. After I got all my lettering the way I wanted, I just spaced it up to what I thought would be the best size. Like I said, you'll see at the end product that the words are in a different font. I forgot to show most of it, but I will show a couple of them. I went and did my pictures and I click complex and I go ahead and I amp up the advanced option just because it helps clear out it to give you better lines, and then you can zoom in as well. Be careful not to click the colored part because it will make your picture disappear, but you can just move backwards on it and it will be fine. And then so I could fine tune it, I lowered the advanced to a lower number so that way I can get closer, so that way stuff like that didn't happen. So you'll see that I go ahead and drop that number down a lot to be able to make those cuts even deeper. And you're going to want to save it as a cut image so that way you can be able to cut it. And then I did go ahead and add one more in so that way I could have the candy cane stripes as well. And then you just select all the pictures that you would like. them around so I could see what I was working with and change the colors, so that way when I go to cut it made it easier. And I duplicated my things as well to help with that. And you can see I didn't realize that I had the other part of that cut still on there when I duplicated. I wanted to make the candy canes cross each other, so I went ahead and I flipped one of them so that way I could have them cross over each other and kind of get the image I was wanting. And then I wanted to try to get 8 reindeer on the sign. I was only able to get 7, but I went ahead and put apart 8 different reindeers. When you do have multiple layers on something, you want to make sure you select the whole image so that way when you move it, everything moves with it. If you're not wanting to move the whole layer and work on one layer, you would just go ahead and select that one layer. And now I go into cutting and I just have them all in the different colors. I go ahead and I choose the type of material it is. So I have premium vinyl for some of them, and then for others I do the shimmer or the holographic as well. And you can see I'm changing it to what I want, and I always set my like shimmers or holographic ones to a more pressure of a cut to help give it an easier weed. And to be able to change what your material is, you will just put your setting onto custom, and then it will give you a whole sheet of different materials you can. And I will say I did also have to resize my Santa because he was just a little too big, so I did have to recut him as well. I just didn't show doing that. So now that you got to see what the computer side looked like, I am going to open up my Cricut and show you what it looks like on the other end. So I get my mat, I use a standard grip mat, and I go ahead and I put my paper on it, try to get it as straight as you can. I struggle with this sometimes, so I have to constantly move it around. When unpeeling it, just make sure to turn it upside down and peel away from the mat, not what I just did there, just because it helps. And since I've been using this mat for a while, it does kind of lose its stick, so I just like to put a little bit of washi tape around the corners to help make sure it doesn't come up if I feel like the vinyl isn't sticking as well as it could be. Then you'll go ahead and you'll load your mat and you'll press the little blinking C and get it cutting. So this is just what it looks like on the cut side of the Cricut. Away from yourself and then repeat your steps. I do try to trim my vinyl before I cut it. Sometimes I don't get to that. The white paper I had, it was just one full sheet, so I just figured I'd just put it on to cut. When you have the roll, it's easier to cut your vinyl beforehand, or you can just leave the roll at the end and paper clip it, so that way you don't have to worry about cutting or anything. And then I just trim the excess that I don't need to store away, and you start to weed. This shimmer one you have to be very careful with. The black is super hard to see the cut, and you just have to really take your time, but I figured I'd leave some of the weeding process in. And then after I got everything weeded, I went ahead and I placed my red candy cane stripes onto my white vinyl. It's kind of hard to see the white. I did have to kind of separate one of them into thirds because it was just not sticking as well as I would hope it would. After that, I go ahead and place it on the sign to where I would like, and then it was okay that it hung over. I just went ahead and folded it down. So I went ahead and put both of those on there. And if you're unsure of how you want your placement, just place it softly on it so that way it doesn't stick. The moment you rub it down, it's pretty much stuck there, so just be very careful when figuring out your placement. And for my reindeer, I just went ahead and peeled and placed them because it's just easier with the type of vinyl to do it that way. And because the black paper is so hard to see, I didn't realize that there was another hole that needed to be weeded until I pulled this reindeer that I was putting up on it. So you can see that I go ahead and weed those holes out and pull them up just to give it that extra look. And if I would have just made the reindeer a little bit smaller, I would have been able to fit all 8 on there, but I did not, and I did not have the energy to recut and weed this vinyl, so I just left it as is. After that, I just went ahead and like I said, this sign is something I had before, so I just re-glued down my snow and then placed my signs on the pole as I would like it to be. At first, on the first one, I did glue the back of the sign, but I realized that gluing on the post was easier because you can kind of place your sign as you would like, knowing that the hot glue isn't going elsewhere. And I do use a hefty amount of glue because I really want to make sure that it stays on there. And then after you glue it on, you just want to make sure it's hardened, and then you will go ahead and place it where you like, and this is what the final product looks like. I'm very happy with how it came out. It's just how I